Hey everybody, it's Kelly Mack alongside
Flu season.
And we have a very special honoree today. We have the first black fire chief of the Beaumont Fire Department, Mr. Earl White.
How you doing, sir?
I'm doing well.
Great.
Doing very, very well. And I can tell you all I'm so humbled.
Awesome.
Very humbled.
Well, we are very humbled, and also it's an honor to sit here and talk to you as the first black chief of the fire department here in Beaumont. So that happened in 2000, is it 16?
18.
18. Okay.
18.
All right.
Yes, 2018. Had a pretty exciting career.
Okay.
I actually entered the fire service here in 1980, October of 1980, my birthday, by the way.
Wow. Okay.
October 27th of 1980.
Mm-hmm.
Spent 36 years here.
Wow.
My first time here.
Right.
My first time here. Ran for elected office
Mm-hmm.
in 2016.
Got it.
Constable Precinct 1, and was there for 2.5 years.
Got it.
And the opportunity presented itself to apply for the chief's job
Mm-hmm.
here. And I was very, very blessed and fortunate
Mm-hmm.
that I was selected by the city manager and approved by the city
Mm-hmm.
council.
So that's 2018. What took them so long?
Right.
We, like I started in 1980, the highest number of firefighters that look like me, the time, we've gotten as high as 22.
Oh, okay. And how many are there total usually?
234 sworn.
Oh, so
firefighters.
about 10%.
Yeah, about 10%. And, we struggle really hard to recruit, minority recruit. Really do. This is a type of job that you're trying to hire the best of the best.
Right.
And unfortunately, our young females and males usually eliminate themselves from this job.
Right.
Because let's face it, they're out there doing some things that they shouldn't be doing.
Yeah.
And we have a very stringent hiring requirements.
Right.
One of them is that no drug use,
Okay.
no felony convictions, no misdemeanor convictions above a class B and A,
Oh, wow.
and moral turpitude charges. So sometimes they eliminate themselves, like I said.
Right, right.
And our education requirements are pretty high because the fire service has evolved.
Yes.
In the 40 years that I've been in the fire service, we've hired a lot better people.
How is it now as far as minorities and people that look like us in today's time? Did that rate pick up?
It's starting to.
Okay.
It's starting to pick up because what's happening is that better education.
Okay.
Our pay is comparable to almost anybody.
Oh, nice.
We start at $57,000 a year.
Okay.
That's a starting position
That
for a
is starting
firefighter
for a
here in
grade one
Beaumont.
firefighter. Yeah, $57,000.
Well, listen,
That is amazing.
It is
because-
amazing.
listen,
And when you figure,
Right.
when you figure in the cost of living
right.
Yeah.
here in Southeast Texas,
Yes, it's very
compared to
affordable.
other areas,
Right.
You can make a really, really good living.
Wow, that's impressive because I was telling you off camera that I have an aunt who served 20 years for the Portsmouth Fire Department,
Yes.
and she was the first black female firefighter. She went on to be the first female lieutenant for the department. So I was inspired by her, and I was actually going to try to be a firefighter, and then they told me
You
that.
still can.
Well, now, but back then they were only paying $28,000, and to hear you say $57,000 is the starting rate.
Absolutely.
That's amazing. And then you work 20 years and you get a pension.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Of course, the majority of the firefighters work longer than that.
Right.
We do have what we call 20-year vesting
Okay.
in the retirement system. Like I said, I spent 36 years here, but I started early. too.
Right.
And that's what I preach. Get somewhere and stick.
Right.
Because now in our society, they're here, they're there, they're everywhere.
Hop around a lot.
They
yeah.
hop around a lot. At some point, you have to make a decision. Career. And what I mean by career, there's nothing wrong with jobs.
Right.
And what I mean by a job, I mean an entry-level job at McDonald's or something like that. Honest work.
Right.
But it's a job. And in most cases, unless you move up into management, it's not a career.
Right.
When you start here, entry level, the sky's the limit.
Right.
We're a civil service department, so if you spend time in rank and qualify, you test up.
Right.
So you can someday you can come here and be the boss.
Yeah. Well, you are the boss.
Yeah.
When you started this job, you said in 1980. That was a long time ago, and I know times have changed a lot. What made you want to be a fireman?
Well, what is a crazy story? I was actually in college at Texas A&M, Southern University in Houston, Texas, on a music scholarship.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I played trombone, and my parents, of course, like most parents back then, wanted you to have a good education, but couldn't afford to give you that higher education.
Right.
So I got a band scholarship and went to Texas Southern University in the Ocean of Soul band. This was someone that couldn't dance a lick. They gave me the numbers, so it was okay.
Right. Okay.
So it was all right. So I looked like I could. 2 left feet. But anyway, came home from the weekend, working part-time with my father at Gateway Shopping City because I had to have money to eat on and things like that. And my buddy called me and said, hey man, they're signing up for the fire department. And that was when they would take out a big ad in the Beaumont Enterprise and Journal on Sundays, recruiting firefighters. And he said, man, come sign up with me. And I said, man, I got class tomorrow. And he said, man, ditch class, come sign up with me. And so I signed up, he signed up, I got hired, he didn't.
Wow.
And the rest is history.
That's cool.
The closest I ever came to contact with the fire service before that is that my aunt lived right across the street from the fire station, old Station 5, here in Beaumont on Concord and Grand.
Okay.
And we would go over there on Sundays and eat dinner, and the kids would play outside, and the firefighters would come out and on the porch and the rocking chairs and stuff. And I can remember looking at it, wanting to go over and look at the fire truck and meet the firemen, and literally what she said was, don't go over there bothering those white folks. Can you imagine?
I can picture it in my head right now. Clear
So that
as
was
day.
the closest I ever came, and so the rest is history. I embraced it when we got here, and when I say we, I did go through the academy with other black firefighters and stuff, and if they were going to run us off, it wasn't because of us, it was because we didn't get a fair shot.
Got it.
But the fire chief at the time was Chief Shelton, C.A. Shelton. Good man, tough man.
Right.
Didn't really care about the color of your skin. He wanted to know if you do the job and if you met his standards. Very tough to work for, but I learned a lot from him. And one of them was, if you say you're going to do something, do it. Keep your word.
Right.
And you should be a practitioner of your craft.
Absolutely.
And I preach that now to young firefighters. Be a practitioner of your craft. Because you're a doctor, lawyer, professional.
Right.
Be professional. And we have certifications here. We don't just hire you and give you a hose and say, go out there and do well. You have to go through the academy. You have to be an EMT here. So education-wise, we've come a long ways. But not everybody embraced us. But we did the job, and we did it with a smile. And it was some things that we had to take.
I'm sure.
But everyone has this equal opportunity here.
Right.
They really do. And it's about the service to the community. That's what it's about. That's what it all comes down to. We meet people on their worst day. Do they really care what color the first responder is?
No.
But what they do want to know is that you're sending the best people to handle their problem.
Absolutely.
Now, am I committed to hiring, people that look like me and other minorities? Absolutely, I am.
Good.
But I'm going to raise them up to the standard of this department. I am not going to lower the standards of this department.
Absolutely.
At all. I owe that to this department and every employee, and I owe that to this community.
Now you, since 1980, were a firefighter. What is that one moment that you will never be able to forget as a firefighter? Maybe a house call or something that happened to you that's it's just there. You'll never forget it.
Well, you can't see it on camera, but if you'll look right over there, that was a letter of commendation that I got in April of 1986. Acme Terminal Warehouse fire, where I was driving Snorkel 7, and we were flowing massive amounts of water, big structure fire, commercial warehouse fire, and one of the firefighters, Chuck Perry, was in the basket, and you can look at the picture there. The whole world's on fire.
Yeah.
I mean, so I was able to get him down from the basket, and he saved his life. And let me tell you what, to this day, I still remember the call. And the only thing I was thinking about is that, how am I going to tell this man's family that I didn't do everything possible to get him down?
Right.
And one thing that I preach to professionals is that train.
Right.
Because when things go bad, you know what you revert back to? Your training.
Right. Absolutely.
You don't think about it, you do it. And I showed that to young firefighters. I didn't think about what I was doing. I just did.
Yeah.
Because of the training. And that equates to, you talk to Medal of Honor recipients and everything, they'll tell you, you ask them, what were you thinking? I wasn't. I reverted back to my training.
Right.
So in any profession, that's very, very important. So that stands out among a lot of other ones, but that was a significant event.
Okay.
That's great, man. So how do you go home and separate the job? Because like a police officer, a doctor, nurse, you probably seen some horrific things. How do you go home? I'm not sure if you're married or are you?
I am.
Okay,
I'm
so
married for 30 years.
Okay, cool. So you go home to your wife and separate, close that door, and be able to look in her eyes, smile, and eat a good meal, but dealing with some of the stuff that you probably have. So,
well, I can tell you that as the chief of the department, chief administrator of the department, you don't.
Yeah.
Because I have 234 sworn firefighters and another 15 to 20 civilians, and I love each and every one of them.
Right.
So when I go home, do I wind down? Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
But my number one thing that I'm thinking all the time, how am I going to get them home safe every day?
Absolutely.
Every day. Now, do people get injured in this job? Absolutely they do. But I am committed to making sure that they don't lose their life and have those horrific injuries. Now, the cuts, the bruises, the sprains and things, that's going to happen.
Yeah.
Because that's the nature of the job. But I don't ever want to have to make that notification.
Right.
So you don't really shut it down.
Yeah.
You know, this is ringing 24 hours a day. Because even after 5 o'clock, there's decisions that have to be made.
Right.
Especially when a firefighter gets injured, you know, at 2 o'clock in the morning. You know, there's decisions that have to be made. And one thing that I do that I hope that individuals that have this tremendous amount of responsibility, whether it's 2 o'clock in the morning or 2 o'clock in the afternoon, if one of my firefighters gets hurt and goes to the hospital to seek medical attention, I'm right there with him.
Wow. That's commendable.
Absolutely.
Definitely.
I'm getting up, I'm going, you know, I'm and the first question I'm going to ask is, how are you? And I've done that, and a couple of them, you know, say, well, Chief, I don't care at that time what you were doing. What I care about is you as a person.
Right, absolutely.
And one of the things I said when I got this job to all my employees is that I'm going to invest in you, and I'm going to make sure that you get home. And when I meet their mothers, fathers, wives, family members, I look them in the eye and say, I'm going to do everything possible as the chief of this department to make sure they get home every day safe.
you see why he's a Southeast Texas Black History Maker, Mr. Earl White, the first Black chief of the Beaumont Fire Department. We appreciate your time, and we want to give you a gift, man.
Yeah.
Mike Epps, it goes down in Houston.
Thank you so
And
much.
if you want to nominate somebody, log on to KTCX.com.
Thank you all so much.
Thank you.
It's
We
been a
appreciate
pleasure.
your time. Thank you.